Hey, welcome back to AM2R. Just want to point out here that I've gone ahead and updated the game to version 1.1. There are a couple of changes that will come into play at the end of the game. It's not actually relevant for a good long while, but I will point those changes out when we get there. So, when we last left off, we were on our way out of the Golden Temple. So let's just go ahead and just double checking to make sure. Yep, nothing left to do, so let's just head on out of here and... Oh, of course. Of course they wouldn't let us leave. So the Ancient Guardian is, I believe, a new addition to Metroid 2. It is not actually a boss that was in the original Metroid 2, Return of Samus. And it's here to teach you about the way a lot of the game's bosses work. I'm doing a terrible job of avoiding its attacks, but you might notice that it's telegraphing quite a bit. I also jump into it like a moron. So, this may or may not hold true for most of the bosses in the game. I don't believe it does because I don't recall seeing it in a lot of the other bosses, but for this particular boss, the color that his eye glows is indicative of which attack he's going to use and how you can dodge it. For instance, these blue eyes just shoot the laser straight down. This purple one shoots fireballs out at about head height so that you can morph ball under them. Green ones head to the side so you can just stand in the middle. And that was our first proper boss of the game. Just to let you know that this is not just a simple graphical update, we are actually adding new things to Metroid 2. Those things that flap up are really annoying. So, destroying all those Metroids in the Golden Temple opened up these caverns down here, which we can open up with a bomb. So let's make our way down here and see what other Metroids we can hunt. This pathway looks suspicious, but unfortunately it's not actually something we can get yet, not until we can, at the very least, jump higher. I have this weird tendency in these Metroidvania games to go out of my way to shoot or destroy all of the enemies on screen if I can. I don't often leave them behind. I have to really train myself to leave enemies behind like that slug from the ceiling. We're getting another scan here. 7 whole Metroids detected in the area. And again, this is an area we can't actually do anything about until later. We'll make a note and return to it with the proper power-ups. Whoa! Hello. It's not often that you get a Metroid popping out of the ground like that without any warning. Other than that surprise, little bit of a jump scare, honestly, there's not that much different about this Alpha Metroid. He's still a dick and likes to hang out too close to the ground. So here we have our next area, the Hydro Station. Surprisingly, not that much water around here, not as much as you might expect. Robotic activity detected inside. Makes you wonder. I could, of course, climb up there with the spider ball, but I decided, I might as well progress first. See what headway we can make inside the station. Discover broken save points, things like that. These little robotic guards are jerks. They pop up and fire very frequently and pop back down, and it's very difficult to get a good shot on them. But if you can, one missile takes them out pretty easily. Now there's a lot of water ahead, so I'm not feeling so good about that direction. But let's check it out anyway, just to see. Well, we made it, but there's this locked door that we can't do anything about. There's this weird panel thing down here, and a bunch of spikes. We can't get anywhere around here. Can we get up here? Doesn't look like it. So no, our only way forward is backwards. I don't know if we necessarily needed the spider ball to continue this way, but doesn't look like we did. We just needed to have some good climbing skills. Let's duck in here and see our next Metroid. Again, this one's kind of a dick, and also introduces the idea that the Metroids are starting to learn from their apex predator. This one has a couple of new moves. He will occasionally dodge out of the way the second you fire a missile. And he also has a charge move that propels him across the screen. Can be kind of rough to deal with if you're not expecting it. And what's down here? A morph ball sized pipe, very convenient. These guys are hefty, requiring a whole 4 missiles to take down. The way they jump also makes them difficult to target and hit with a good shot. You have to wonder about the hydrological logistics of a place with pipes that are as easily destructible as that. Doesn't seem very efficient. This is where those jerks really get problematic. I'm just bouncing around like I think I'm Mario or something. Come on. There we go. Like I said, I have difficulty leaving enemies undestroyed in these kinds of games, even if you don't necessarily need to. Tricky bomb block to get, but not so bad. I had a brain fart and forgot how to get this one, so I'll come back to it later, once I realize that I have no idea how to get to it. No worries. There will probably be cleanup videos in which I go and collect all of the pickups that I missed. That are currently available to me, of course. See, these guys fire so often that it's really difficult to get a good shot on them, or get past them. There's a couple of good pickups in the room over there, but we can't get there from here. So really, this was just a big detour for a missile tank. That angers me so much, I take my anger out on these bird heads. Screw those bird heads. I'm good at platformers sometimes, I swear. Just not all the time. So there doesn't seem to be a lot more in this direction. Maybe there's another avenue we can explore. Samus can wall jump in this game. It works much like it did in Zero Mission and Super Metroid. This looks promising. Aha! It's our next upgrade, the high jump boots. Always exciting to get in the Metroid game. Who doesn't love jumping higher? Aha! And it looks like there's something else down here. Hey, get off of me. Alright, there we go. With the high jump boots, we can easily jump up and spider ball onto walls and ceilings that were previously, at the very least, difficult to reach. Whoops. No big deal. And with the high jump boots, you'd think it'd be easier to get out of here. But no, it's still really dependent on your wall jump ability and your ability to not shoot out most of the ground you can stand on. This shoots us back up the pipe that we came down. Oof. Now what else can we explore? Well, I can't reach him from here. And he just knocks me off like a jerk. What a jerk. Yeah, that is a jump you are supposed to be able to make with the high jump boots, but I just sort of gave up on it for the moment. I have a lot of brain farts with these games sometimes. Convenient place for a save point, considering it's been a while. We just need to make our way through this maze of pipes. For all the praise I gave the game for having greatly visible destructible points in the previous video, those were not very obvious points of destruction. But here we have our next mini-boss. Arachnus. If you don't recognize him from the original Metroid 2, he was in fact in the original Metroid 2, but he also appeared as the first proper boss of Metroid Fusion. He was kind of a chump in the original Metroid 2. He was kind of a chump in Metroid Fusion. Here he's a lot more dangerous. He's got moves that would make Sonic the Hedgehog jealous. He's got this blue energy wave. But once you shoot him enough, he just starts rolling around like this. And when he rolls around like that, he's vulnerable to your own form of rolling up like that, and the weapon that you can utilize like that. It's actually, as you might be able to guess, it's actually possible to encounter this guy before you collect the high jump boots or some other items, so missing out on those, I mean, he's still doable. This is not the most difficult boss in the world, but the high jump boots certainly make it a lot easier to dodge a lot of his attacks, especially those claw swipes. But you just gotta spam enough missiles into his face, and then you get to this part. Each time he hits those electric spikes on the wall, you have to bomb him a couple more times to launch him into them. But once you do, it's not that big a deal, and he drops our next upgrade. Press the jump button in Morph Ball mode to, surprisingly, jump in Morph Ball mode. It's pretty sweet. Go ahead and save now that we've picked that. There we go. So just in these couple of minutes, we've already managed to pick up a good number of mobility upgrades. The high jump boots and the spring ball, combined with the spider ball that we got last episode, really opens up a lot of avenues of exploration that we had difficulty getting to before. These guys are still as much of a jerk as ever. There's probably an easier way, honestly, and I'm just missing the obvious solution. That happens sometimes. It happens to all of us. So primarily, with the high jump boots, we can access this area, and with the spring ball and spider ball, we can climb up this narrow little passageway to access, not necessarily an important next area, but an area nonetheless. And that's, at least 75% of the fun of these games is exploring new areas with the new abilities you just picked up. Unfortunately, that didn't seem to lead me anywhere. There's something obvious I'm missing. No, it's not on this rooftop. Maybe. Yes, I can finally make that jump. Now it's just a question of whether I can make the next couple of jumps either. So in all this hubbub about collecting all of these new sweet mobility upgrades, we might have forgotten our most important mission, which is to search for and destroy all of the Metroids on SR388. So here's our next Metroid. This one seems a lot faster than the other ones. Maybe it's just me. He's also very good at dodging, but they all fall eventually. Nothing else over this way. There isn't usually anything in these dead ends aside from the Metroids that inhabit them. So, that was one Metroid. Gotta wonder where the rest are. Nice little effect here, how blowing out that pump will actually lower the water level, as will destroying these fans, which will actually suck you in. They could be pretty dangerous if you don't react quickly. But again, a couple of missile shots also take care of them pretty nicely. Slowly drag yourself through the water, Samus, that's it. And in this slow acting water, we have to fight our next Metroid. Thankfully, jumping out of the water gives us a decent range mobility back, so it's not like we're just sitting ducks for his attacks. Its attacks? Her attacks? Who knows what gender these Metroids identify as. What, this area up here... I wonder what lies behind this door. Well, the Chozo statue holds nothing, but maybe there's something else. Maybe there's some other place we can reach. Maybe behind? Aha! if you looked, you would have actually been able to see that that block was a little cracked and disturbed. So get rid of all of these and, you can't have a Metroid game anymore without this Varia suit. Yeah, that's the Samus we know. The Varia suit isn't going to do anything for us in the water, unfortunately, but as it said on the screen there, it does reduce the damage we take, which helps a lot, especially when dealing with some of the later Metroids. Plus, it gives her the iconic look, with the shoulders and everything. Turns out Morph Ball goes a lot faster in water than walking as Samus does. Probably something to do with less friction. Destructible block up here leads to our next missile expansion. Almost collected 100 missiles. Not too shabby, if I may say so myself. There's gotta be some way to proceed, but I just can't see it for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and save, and we'll leave things here for now. Next time we pick up, maybe we'll get rid of the next several Metroids, and see where else our new mobility options will lead us.